Once again, guys, Jeremy Luchal, he's been, I can't say enough good things about him. He's been around the game for some time. And our next guest tonight, Jared Velasquez. Nice to meet you, my brother. This is my first time meeting Jared Velasquez, and I thank you for coming on to the show. You're fighting this weekend, right, in 559 Fights?
That's right.
Now you, is this microphone good, brother? Okay. So, you're no stranger to the ring. You've been in there before. You were telling me earlier. How many fights do you have?
I got 7 fights in MMA and a couple boxing matches. So
some boxing matches too.
Stranger, yeah.
Nice. So have you fought in 559 fights before?
Yeah, I have. I think twice or 3 times.
And what other venues did you fight in?
I fought over in Stockton for the 209 beatdown, and another one in Santa Clara. It was, I can't remember that one. I think it was an expo or something, but I definitely enjoy 559.
The 209 beatdown. That sounds cool. All right, guys. So yes. All right. So we have the rest of our guests that are coming in, guys. You guys are going to be in here between me and my man right here.
Sorry.
Okay, it's okay. I'm late all the time. So yeah, we're live, and you know what? Things happen, especially the fog and everything. And plus, guys, we're at this. Man, I can't say enough about this. Our sponsor here. Okay, we're at Legends Tap House and Grill. Just to remind you. Okay, so Corina Herrera. Am I saying that right?
Yes.
Okay, come on in here and get in here. What's up, man?
Hey, how's it going?
What's your name?
Jonathan?
John, are you joining us too?
Yeah,
I'm Tom Owens. John, come on in here. Okay, so we're gonna have Mark in here too.
Okay.
All right. Can you still hear me pretty good?
Yep.
All right, guys. So we got a good little group here now. So we got Jared Velasquez, Corina Herrera. Sure I don't butcher your name. And what was your name again, sir?
Jonathan Moskowitz.
Moskowitz? You
Yes.
said that right?
Yes.
Hey guys, thanks for joining us. We got one more coming here. What's up, man? How you doing?
Pretty good.
Good to see you, man. Get on down there a little bit, guys. And we got my friend here and old training partner, Mark Felix. Now, do you guys, you three train together?
Yes.
Yeah.
And Jared, do you know these guys?
Yeah.
Okay, but you two are, Mark and Jared, you're both fighting this weekend, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're fighting.
Okay, so I want to continue with you, Jared. You were boxing and doing MMA. Now, is this something? I know you played football when you were younger.
Yeah, I played football at Orange Cove, and then I played football at Reedley College.
Are you born and raised in this area?
Yeah.
You are from the area.
Mhm.
How about you guys? Are you guys all from the area?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Mark, were you from Farmersville? That's where I met
Nah,
you.
I'm from Lindsay, Altown.
You're from Lindsay.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are you guys thinking, man? You got this the fight this weekend. I know both of you guys have been in there already. Are you training with this guy?
Yeah. One
Yeah?
kicks. Yeah.
Yep.
Of course, with crew.
With crew.
Okay.
Okay, so is crew helping you guys out with the
Yeah.
striking?
Always with the Muay Thai.
Striking's on point. I
And
think
then Halo.
yeah.
Okay, so you're with Halo too. And Javier, where do you train at?
Oh, Jared.
Jared.
Yeah.
Hey, got a lot of
It's all
names on my
good.
mind.
It's
It's been a
all
long
good.
week.
Don't worry about it.
Where do you
But,
train at, my brother?
I train out of 7th generation jiu-jitsu and with Fred's gym. He's a boxing coach out in Fresno.
In Fresno?
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys all train together. Who are you fighting this weekend, Mark?
Fighting this guy. I can't even pronounce his name, to be
I
honest.
thought I was the one bad with names.
Yeah, I can't. I really can't even pronounce his name. So
Murder his
something
name, dude.
Thong, something cubic thong. I don't know.
Oh, okay, that's all right.
But yeah,
Yeah, we're not trying to disrespect anybody.
No,
like
I just
that.
really can't pronounce his name.
Now, you've how many fights do you have?
I have total of 6 fights.
6 fights, and these are amateur fights that we're going to this weekend.
Mhm.
Have you fought in 559 fights
Yeah,
before?
and I fought Tachi also.
And you fought at Tachi
Mhm.
also. What is the? It's been some time since you've been in the ring, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
also, Jared, it's been a little while since you've been in there. A year, you were saying.
Yeah.
When you guys are off and you're taking that time off, did you stick to the training, or did you take a little break?
Yeah, you tried. I mean, things get in the way sometimes, but at the end of the day, you try to get in work as much as you can. But personal issues, other things get in the way. It makes it kind of hard to get training, but.
And Jared, when you took the time off, kind of the same deal. Did you stick to the training? You have issues
a little
going
bit. I mean, you gotta handle life, you know. But try to stick to it. And actually, I was working security guard when they were fighting at the Rainbow Ballroom, couple months ago, and I seen it, and I was just got that itch, you know.
Dude, that'll do it.
Yeah.
I was at the Fight to Win Jiu-Jitsu this weekend. Did you guys see that?
One of my buddies
heard about it.
I didn't get to see it, but
Are you guys into jiu-jitsu, like sport jiu-jitsu and stuff?
more now that I've gotten into that gym.
Yeah, it was really something else, man. Seeing those guys go out there. What was your Jared? What was your first art that you got into, like as far as combat?
Boxing.
Boxing. So
Boxing.
you told me you boxed in competition.
Yeah, I got a couple fights under my belt, and it's great to see, you know, boxing by itself, and then you see jiu-jitsu by itself, and it's just like another level, you know, and then you take it together, and I think it's helped a lot.
So all of you guys, the same. I ask all of you guys the same question. Well, sir, do you fight as well?
Yeah.
Are you fighting this weekend too?
I'm not fighting.
Welterweight champ right here.
All right.
Yeah,
Are you really?
Yeah.
For what?
Fights welterweight champ.
Oh wow.
559. Yeah.
The champ right here.
New one.
I should have known that already. All you guys, I want to ask the same question because for me, I did martial arts, you know, pretty much my whole life, like karate and all these different styles. But when I saw the first UFC and I saw Royce Gracie, I didn't know what jiu-jitsu was. I had never seen it before, and I seen Royce Gracie in there, and that's what sparked me like a real interest in like getting serious about like a real type of a fight training. And at what point? I want to ask each one of you, what did you see, maybe it was a fight or whatever, where you go, you know what, I want to do that. I want to get inside that cage. What did you see? Just something simple.
I never thought I was gonna do that. Like in high school, I was never into all that. I mean, and don't get me wrong. I used to like to fight. Like in general, like after school, there used to always be like little groups. People would go and fight. We actually had alleys that would go and fight. I showed Corina. I showed you, huh? The alleys used to go like. Everybody would go there, there'd be fights. Eventually, teachers caught on. I actually started like a little fight thing in my backyard. Took 2 days to build a mat. I
Like Kimbo Slice type
like,
deal?
something like that. But
Bare knuckle?
Nah, I had little rules and everything above the ring and everything. But anybody that had problems at school was like, come to my house. And I loved it, but I was always scrapping, throwing blows at anybody. I was always
where were you at when you said, you know, when you really said, you know what, I'm going to start training and I'm going to get into the cage?
It wasn't really even my idea. It was the people around me were like, dude, you should try it. Dude, you should try it. You'd be good for it. You should try it. Dude, he's like, dude, do it. I was like, nah. I was like, and after I was like, screw it, I'll try it. And then I fought and I lost. And after that, I was like, dude, I cannot go out on a loss. So I was like, when I came back, I made sure I had to get a dub. Knocked him out. Ever since then, I've been knocking dudes out. Left and right. Boop, boop, boop. All
That's
finishes.
a good story. And you, my brother, what did you see or what made you want to hop inside that cage?
Yeah, you know, like Mark, I never thought I was going to be fighting, but I had just finished my wrestling career in Oregon, and my buddy was like, hey, come check out this jiu-jitsu gym, and I started rolling, and I started to see that I enjoyed it, and before you know it, my buddy, his cousin is Ricky Simone. He's in the UFC, and he said, hey, come check out this gym, and then I just started training over there, and then moved back home and just kept on.
And you made that decision. And now Corina is one of our favorite female fighters from the area. You're from the area, right?
From Porterville.
You're from Porterville. Yeah, you're definitely one of our favorites. I mean, we're always like stoked when I am anyways, when I see females like jumping in there. Honestly, it wasn't something that I saw growing up with women that I knew. But at what point or what did you see that made you want to take that step into that cage?
Well, I fought right after high school, and I never fought in high school before, and I wasn't really like into it, but I'm an athlete. I play softball, and it just seemed interesting, like a one-on-one sport, and I gave it a shot, and my first fight ended in 18 seconds, and after that I just was like addicted.
That was it right there?
Yes, that was it.
And Jared, what about you, man? I know you started in the boxing. That probably gave you an itch to compete. Was there anything you saw on TV or a certain fight, like a UFC or anything, that made you want to hop in there?
Seen Velasquez versus Nogueira, that fight early
Classic
on, and
history.
like that's like must be my primo or something, you know, or something, you know. But besides that, I played sports, and I was like, I need to do something, you know, because that ended. And, you know, you gotta keep yourself active.
You think the football definitely is a pretty tough sport? Did that playing football help a little bit?
Yeah, I think so. I was just like, I love, like, you know, causing damage, you know. Yeah, it's a lot of fun doing that, and then you see, like, it's real, like, you know, MMA is like all around fighting and stuff, and then
definitely getting some contact.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So, Corina, did you fight? Did you do the amateur fights before you made it pro?
No, I went straight pro.
You went straight to pro?
Yeah, but when I started, it wasn't really like a big thing, like for girls especially too. So the competition wasn't really that high at that time.
And what
I still
show?
did grudge matches. Eagle Mountain?
Eagle Mountain. So back then when I fought at Eagle Mountain, it was Gladiator Challenge, but what was it?
Yeah, I think it was Gladiator Challenge.
Did you fight in Gladiator Challenge?
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, Gladiator Challenge. This is old school right there. I don't even know if they're still doing their thing. But that's a trip fighting up there though, up in the casino. Have you guys been up there, fought up at the casinos?
I have not. No.
What about Lemoore?
Tachi.
Just
Yeah.
Tachi?
Yeah.
But was that on out there in Lemoore?
Yeah.
Tachi?
Mhm.
Yeah,
They're not. They don't do it anymore though, right?
they haven't.
Nah. Last one was against Matt
Hopefully they
Reed.
get back in there. So how many pro fights do you have, Corina?
10.
10 fights,
10
huh?
fights, I know.
Good Lord.
That's what I say. 10 already.
Do
And
you,
fight quick.
you've obviously trained in several gyms around here, right? Do you have a main place that you train, or do you just still go all around?
Right now, I'm kind of based trifecta with Mo
Okay, good.
and Crew One Kicks, and then I do a lot of Halo. Steven, he has a class that he has at 10 a.m. like MMA class that I try to attend a lot. So those are like my 3 main places right now.
Yeah,
And then
will-
Eloy, also, I'm sorry,
Oh, that's okay.
Guards of Boxing, he does my privates, and I go there too, but everything's like,
He's really good, huh?
yeah, he's good.
Yeah, I hear
He's
about
good on the mats, and then he's good, like, just building you up too, like, mentally getting you ready.
And how good
He's
is
awesome guy.
I've known Cruz since we were kids. He's always been around. He was always a traditional martial artist, and he just kept on going, and ended up liking Muay Thai probably more than the other. But he seems like he's becoming a really good coach. So I've
he's a
seen
good
Crew in a lot of
coach.
different
Yeah.
corners.
Well, from Porterville to Visalia is like a 40-minute drive, and he moved to Fresno, and I still follow
Right.
him that far because I do believe in like his coaching, and I love his training. It's really intense, and
Yeah,
you don't really
Cre-
find it too many places like that high.
No, and like I said, I grew up with that guy. He's He's real serious about martial arts.
He is.
Yeah, he's going to be one of our nominated guys for the MMA award show that we're going
And
to be
he's
having
real
this
serious
year.
about his fighters too.
Yep, takes good care, and I see him backstage. He looks real calm. And
If you put in the
calm and
work, he
collect.
puts the work into you too.
That's sweet. And Jared, what gym do you train out of again?
7th generation jiu-jitsu. It's in Fresno.
No, that's in Fresno. Who's the main sensei?
It would be.
I think there's several.
Yeah, there's a couple out there, but
Are they doing
Just trying to
MMA in
find-
there too, or what?
Huh?
They do MMA, a lot of MMA.
yeah, they do some MMA, and they work close with this gym at kickboxing, and they actually have the heavyweight champ train out of there.
And
of
who's
the
that?
state, yeah. Kel Melton.
Oh, Kel. Yeah, Kel
Yeah.
competed this weekend at the Fight to Win.
Yeah.
I like that guy a lot. He's a super cool individual right there. And what about you, man? When I met this guy, it was in one of my favorite places. It's a small gym that most people don't know about, but the owners are super good people. Danny Valadinos and Juan Pato Jimenez and these guys.
Yeah.
It's Farmersville, California. It's Team KO, and it's just a small little hole in the wall gym. But that's where I met you, right?
Yeah, man.
Yes,
Yeah.
dude. Hey, man. And
really
that's some good
big,
roots
man.
right there, because that little gym, they've been around since I've been around doing this, and those owners have always had you guys back
Yeah.
110%. And the good thing about them too is they still have your back 100%, and they know they don't mind their guys going and training in other places if it's going to benefit their guy. A lot of gyms get butt hurt. You know, coaches like, oh, my guy's going over there, this and that, and they get butt hurt. But hey, Danny and them, they've always been, hey man, if it's going to benefit you, go do it. And believe me, when you fight this weekend, they're going to be behind you a
Yeah,
lot. So
yeah.
was that the first MMA gym that you stepped into?
Yeah, I like that gym though, just because it was really gritty, like
Super gritty.
so gritty. Like you'd go in there, people would get busted up, freaking
Yes.
bleeding noses, but that's what we liked. You know what I mean? Because it felt like we go in there, we literally train and just spar and spar and spar and spar. Like I always tell Corina, like people that are from KO, they say people from KO have heart, but that's just because they're fighters from the ground up. You know, they're gritty and they don't care. They'll go in there. They have a broken hand. They'll fight with a broken hand. They
And
don't care.
they go in there every Saturday, and
Yeah.
like anybody's welcome to go over there. And every Saturday at around 12 p.m. noon to 1, they have the fighters training, and it's just like you just said. They go in there and with all respect, they'll hug and shake after, but they
Yeah.
really are going at it, man. They really do it is great.
Yeah.
It's not the prettiest place or maybe the most sanitary.
Nah, but it's definitely a place to get work, man.
It is a good place to get work, man, for the whole package. And a lot of respect to them. Where are you mainly training now?
Well, one kicks and I try to go trifecta, and I stuck with my boxing coaches from Farmersville actually. So I still go to Farmersville
Jose,
get
is it
working.
Jose?
No, it's a guy named Nacho. I don't think you've met him,
Okay,
but
yeah.
he was
No.
there and he helped Martin a lot too. But yeah, no, but just going from KO to that was different. Like over here at one kicks, it's all like you pace yourself. You're not going 100%. It's all technique.
More
Like you have to
technique.
see it. They want you to see punches coming in, other than just getting hit freaking in the face, getting busted up. It's different. But my main places it's one kicks, and I try to go to trifecta for jiu-jitsu. But a lot of it's Halo Jiu-Jitsu, so I get a lot of my grappling in over there too as well.
Yeah.
And my boxing coach from Farmersville.
Good. Yeah, I really like what Trifecta is doing too. It's great, Marion Renault, right? My own
Yes.
I know her by Momo, but she's got the gym in Visalia right there, and she's building up a huge women's class. It looks like.
Huge.
Yeah,
Huge, and a lot of them are belted.
Yes.
So it's technical over there.
And she knows because she made it to the UFC, so she's got to be a big help for you, right?
She is,
How does that
extremely.
help you to be working with a UFC fighter?
It's definitely a confident booster, and then being able to go with a girl that's better than me, stronger than me.
Is she pretty tough?
Yeah, she's tough. She's tough
Yeah.
on me. Not only does she help me with the physical part, also the mental part, getting ready for it, because there's a lot that goes into it there too.
And she has a real good, she's got that teacher mentality.
Yeah, and the way she teaches really well too, like that, by step by step. She's real technical but explosive too.
She also runs a real tight ship over there. If you want, every gym's got their own style of teaching and everything. When I noticed when I went to Trifecta, if you're a new person that wants to get into jiu-jitsu, or you're a skilled competitor like Mark and these guys, you can get both of them, because I noticed with her beginners, she makes it comfortable for a new person to go in there.
Yeah,
Right,
especially
like-
the females, because a lot of us don't like
even
starting
guys,
new gyms.
even guys too. Like men, probably more than women, are more intimidated to go into a gym.
Really?
I think so. Hey, I've been doing this stuff for 24 years. Hey, man, I'm not ashamed to say it. I still get intimidated when I'm going into it, even if it's people I know. But that's just me. But I know new people a lot. I always have people approach me like, man, what? How do I go in there? Or can I go in there with you? I'm like, dude, most of these people are super cool. You just got to take that step to the door, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And what about you, my brother? You're a welterweight champion?
Yeah, with 559 fights. Yeah, I train mostly at One Kicks with crew as well, and then I also train at a Tulare boxing gym with Richard Torres.
Oh wow, with Richard.
With Richard.
Props to Richard Torres, OG right there.
Yep, I'm with him, and then.
Boy, how's that working with that guy?
Oh, it's a lot of fun. His son, Richard Jr., he's
Yep.
back in town, and
he's something else too, isn't he?
yeah, it's great to be able to spar with him and just see how he trains. And I'm always asking them questions, about, what, their boxing mind.
Oh yeah, that guy's like a computer, I imagine, with
Yes.
everything. So all of you guys, when you're getting ready for an MMA fight, like coming up this weekend, do you still do like a straight boxing class or straight jiu-jitsu classes, or are you guys like doing just MMA type of a class and blending it all together?
Like in general, or?
Yeah, in general.
Like
I mean, like when I'd fight, I would still go to straight jiu-jitsu classes and do it. But as the fight got closer, I would try to just get like a mixed up, you know what I mean, a mixed up scene. Where do you spend most of your time when you're getting ready for a match?
I'd
Or what do
say
you feel is like what do you feel is the most important aspect that you work on?
when you're preparing for MMA fight, definitely MMA focus. You know, so we're drilling everything together: the striking, the jiu-jitsu, and the wrestling. But I think it's also equally as important to make sure that you're getting those individual skills in as well.
And drilling? You do a lot of drilling?
Yeah, we do a lot of drilling with Steven. Yep.
That's cool, man. And Jared, what about you? This might be a question for all of you, but we're down to fight week, right? And I know there's a lot of mental preparation, maybe some weight cutting to do. What's your week going to be like leading up to this fight? Like,
Well, probably a little technical sparring, little, drilling, just kind of getting that.
what about like weight?
competition.
Do you have to make any kind of cut weight or anything
Oh,
like
weight,
that?
a little bit of weight. I'm just like eating, pretty strictly healthy stuff.
So you don't have to cut too much?
Not too much.
That's good. That's a good idea. Corina, what about you? When you always look nice and ripped up when you fight. Do you have to cut a lot of weight, or do you
No,
cut any at all?
I don't have to really cut too much, just a few pounds of water.
That's good.
Because I stay, like, when I'm getting ready for my camp, I stay eating clean.
Yeah.
I watch my calories, my carbs. Professional, just do it professionally. And
What kind of diet do you men do? Are you like you eat meat and vegetables, or?
yeah, I'll do like I do a lot of white rice, chicken, fish, but smaller portions for like a smaller person.
Yeah.
So I'll eat the same like all year long basically, but like when I'm cutting weight to 115, I eat a smaller portion because I love healthy food. That's just the
Yeah.
way. Once you start getting into it and you eat
Yeah.
like that, your
Feels
body
good.
doesn't want to eat like lasagna and like big old heavy greasy meals because then you can't perform when you train. Even when you're just training just to train, it makes you feel real sluggish. So
Yep.
yeah, I try to eat healthy all year long, and then when it comes to weight cutting, I'll do protein, low carbs that week.
Now, what about?
A lot of water.
I always think it's like important, like visualization and meditation. Just coming, all the time. I like it, but especially like the last maybe 3-4 days of the fight. Do you guys incorporate anything like that? Like just getting alone and just closing your eyes and breathing, just kind of visualizing what's going to happen that night?
Yeah.
Do you guys would do stuff like that?
Yeah, I see it. I see it all the time. I always see I'm the first person, always, every time.
And what about if for me, I'd lay down at night and I'd even train all day and be super tired, but I would when it came time to go into sleep, man, I'd lay in the bed and the wheels start turning.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? They start turning and all kinds of
Can't
different
sleep.
things can go through your head. It's a
Yeah.
pretty trippy thing.
Mhm.
Did you say you're fighting this weekend too?
I'm not fighting this weekend.
Are you
no.
cornering
I'm
anybody, or-
I'll be cornering Mark.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So what do you think about Mark's training?
Oh, I'm sure.
You been right there with him?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't been with him this whole camp, but I do know Crew, and I know Karina's with him
Yeah.
all the time, and I know his team, is preparing him very well, and I know what that camp is like. I've done it, and I know exactly what his game plan is for the fight, and I'm excited to be cornering him because I know he's going to do very well.
Yeah, I've always had high hopes for Mark. When I met you back in the day, like me and Jeremy were talking about it earlier. Some people you see him, or especially if you get to share the mat with him, you can just tell, like, man, this guy, he could do it if he was to put his mind to
Yeah.
it. So that's super cool, man. Did you guys, when you were younger, like, would you have ever thought that you'd be doing this, mixed martial arts in a cage?
I didn't think this. My dad never thought this either. I think he messed up.
What about your guys' families? Did your family trip out, Jared?
Yeah, my
What about your
yeah
parents?
Not
they go
so
to your
much.
fights?
More like my grandparents, because they're like old school.
Have they ever went to your fights?
Not my grandparents.
But your parents,
Yeah,
though?
my parents.
And are they tripping out or what?
Yeah, they're supportive and everything. They're just like, they don't really understand the whole thing yet. They're old school too, so it's like boxing is like.
Oh, yeah?
And then once they start taking people down, they're like, what's going
But
on?
they're right there in the audience cheering for you,
Yeah.
though. Yeah, that's cool. Well, guys, one of the things that we do on this show, and the reason that MMA Fight Pass we're here, is not only to support fighters like young fighters like you and all the martial arts, but what we're trying to do is we want to give a positive outlook to younger kids that are out there, and there's especially in the Central Valley, and I knew where I grew up, and I'm sure you guys can attest to this too. man, there's not a lot of stuff to do as a youngster around here, and
No,
it's
not
super
in the
easy to
valley.
get in trouble. And I remember I had my hands in all types of different stuff. But this life is a trip, man, and it seems like you can really do whatever you want in this life if you put your mind to it. Like I'm barely starting to get that. I wish I would have got that when I was younger, but like for anybody out there, you can do anything that you want if you got to have a little belief in yourself, though. So, what could you tell? Any one of you answer this. What could you tell like a young person out there? It doesn't have to be fighting, but just something positive that they could do instead of being out there on the street. Like, how can you get involved in something, Corina?
I think it's easy to be a bad person and it's hard to be a good person, and it's contagious. So I feel like me, I try to be a good role model, example, push hard. I'm a girl, so if I could do it, a man could do it, you could do it. Pass a smile on.
Passing a smile on, that's a big one right there.
Yeah.
And what about you, Mark?
Stay
What
positive.
would you tell a young buck out there? You
Yeah,
obviously came out doing some, probably hanging around some wrong dudes at some point or another. All of us have.
Yeah, I don't know. Like you said, it's hard, especially from certain towns like Porterville, Lindsay. You hear a lot of crazy like stuff happening over there. Fresno's crazy too. It's a bigger town, but smaller towns, people hear a lot of stuff. I don't know.
What about your Instagram feed when kids are following you? What did you say earlier?
Nah, that's cool. Yeah, I got a lot of little high schoolers like trying to follow me, and this and that. They want
Hey,
t-shirts.
man.
You should
and
feel
that.
good.
It's cool.
Like you
It's-
should set
it's
an
cool.
example. And
But it's like I said, like I find I like to represent Lindsay, I like to bring my family, my friends. Like I feel like you make bad decisions, you do wrong things. You're not only like bringing yourself down, you're bringing down the people that you represent. You know what I mean? You can't. I don't know. You have to be someone that they're proud to say, "Oh, that's my son. That's this is that." You know what I mean? You don't want to be someone that's down in the gutter that nobody wants to even. That's embarrassed to say they know you or anything. Just I don't know, man. Just think about your family. Think about what you're doing.
A lot of times
is it really worth it?
You guys don't realize either, man. There's probably way more youngsters out there watching you guys that look up to you. It could be family members or just kids that have heard about you. And like with this podcast, me and Archie were talking about a little while ago. We weren't when we got this podcast going exactly sure what direction we were looking. The people we were looking to get watching it. And we knew we wanted to help MMA fighters and help the Valley, but we're starting to reach out to, there's a lot of younger people looking at us and watching you guys. And man, even if it's just one kid that's looking up to you, like you could honestly make a difference in that kid's life.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's pretty cool, man. And yeah, one thing before we close up tonight, guys. For one, I want to thank you guys for coming on. And what we'll do is kind of hard. Well, it's different for me to do a podcast with all you guys. I would like to get each one of you on here, like singly, as we go. So we're going to be having these podcasts a lot more often. I got to give some thanks out there because the podcast is growing, and the guy he's responsible for me getting involved with this is Chris Ronquillo and Archie Tovar. Okay, Archie's the producer of the podcast.
Chris got me involved.
Chris got, yeah. It's important though the bloodline here. Chris though, when I had my very first fight up at Eagle Mountain Casino, it was Gladiator Challenge. When I walked out of the cage, Chris was right there, and he was a reporter. He was a media guy right there, and he's the first guy that ever, like, he pulled me aside and he was like, "Hey man," like he was pretty proud, and he was happy for what I had done. And since then, Chris has always kept in contact, and man, I got a lot of thanks for that guy. And Chris, when they started the podcast, he got me into it, and the podcast has gotten me several different things going now. You know what I mean? Some referee jobs, some commentating, a lot of interview work, and it's funny how one person can, you know what I mean? They open up one door and you keep going. But Chris, man, we got to get you back on here. Chris is going through issues like all of us have our little issues, but we love you, Chris, and we got a ton of respect for you, and man, we can't wait to get you back on here. And yeah, so Chris Ronquillo, you guys remember that guy? He's been a supporter this whole time, and I mean a long time. Would you like to thank coach, sponsor, anybody, anything like that? Let's start on down with Jared, and thank whoever you'd like, and we'll work our way down.
Well, gotta give the glory to God first, and then second, give it to my family, my siblings, my parents, my wife, my daughter, my coaches. You know, like there's so much, but
All right.
just everybody.
Those are good people to thank. Corina?
Yeah, pretty much the same. Family, coaches, my gyms, kids, friends, supporters, sponsors. Oh my God, sponsors made this camp so much easier. I'm usually like stressed out, and I don't have a manager, so everything I do is like,
Sometimes that's a good thing.
oh man,
Can
it's
be.
heavy though. It's heavy.
It's a heavy
It weighs
load.
heavy on
But
your
if you
back.
can- if you can get
Doing
in that
shirts,
cage, though.
tickets,
Yeah.
corners, all that stuff. Yeah.
All right.
thank
And you, my
everybody.
brother, you got any sponsors or anything? Yeah. When is your
Mine,
next fight?
hopefully in a couple months. There's a couple promotions out there that have fights that I can hit up, but we'll see. Hopefully a few months. I'm not trying to wait like a year like I have been in the past.
Yeah.
You know, I just got out of camp and I'm healthy. I just
Yeah.
fought like a few weeks ago.
Dude, look at those
Had a loss.
triceps.
I had a loss, but
I'm
I
jealous.
trained so hard for it, and I'm ready to get back in there. Trained hard for my last
Awesome.
one. Didn't come out with the win, but
Oh, that's all right.
Waiting for the
Sometimes,
next one.
sometimes a loss is a win, in my opinion. How about you, my brother? You got anybody you would like to thank? Any sponsors or anything like that?
Of course, God and first, and everybody that has shown me love and continue to give me support, and it means a lot because the fight game is a tough game, and we don't get a lot of help, and so when we do, it's very appreciative.
It definitely is. And how about you, my brother? Anybody you'd like to thank?
Yeah, the man above, my Gramps, mainly my Gramps is one of the biggest ones too. This is one of the main reasons I'm fighting. My dad's one of my main sponsors, you know what I mean? Mark's Audio, best audio installations in the valley. I don't care, yeah.
Mark's Audio.
Mark's Audio.
heard it right
He's
here
in
and
California. Just my coaches, Crew, Nacho, Mo. Getting to work with her is a big pleasure. The sponsors have been helping me a lot with everything, with paying my medicals and just everything on one package. I'm grateful for everything and everyone. For Crew, Corina, Jonathan, and they all been a blessing in my journey.
That's awesome, man. We all have something in common here, and all you guys, even your opponents that you're fighting this weekend, when you guys are respectful, when the show's, the fight's set and over with, win or lose, you know what I mean? There's always some respect right there. So we thank the opponents that you guys got coming too. Thanks again to Jeremy Luchow for coming on the show and breaking down the 559 fights. Not easy being a promoter. I know that for sure. It's probably one of the most difficult jobs. I want to thank, before we go, Seth Daniels. He's the promoter for Fight to Win, and he gave me the chance to commentate this weekend, which I had a great time. It's been one of the things I've always wanted to do. And MMA Fight Pass, me, Archie, and Chris, we want people to know that we offer referee action, we offer commentating, ring announcing, and like interview work and videotaping. Everything to do with that we're offering because we want to grow our brand. And it's been for you guys. I want to continue to commentate. So any of you fighters that I commentated for this weekend, throw my little thing in here. Please post your fight. If you thought the commentating was all right, please post your fight, and it'll help my resume out. You know what I mean? We'll help each other out. You'll get your video and your fight out there, and I'll get my commentary. But yeah, commentary. I can do ring announcing, and I can do refereeing, and like I said, the videotaping and everything. So that's my little plug right there. Yeah. Hey man, I love you guys for coming on, and like I said, we'll have you guys on the podcast afterwards. Hopefully after these fights. Whatever the outcome is, I can get you guys back on here. And here pretty soon we're going to have a new studio, guys, and it's really going to be something else there. And yeah, the guests are going to be coming a lot more often, and yeah, it's going to be a good time. So thank you guys again. Appreciate it. It was nice to meet you, sir. Thank you, sis. I met you before. Thank you, my brother. MMA Fight Pass out. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'll do that backwards. All right. Thank you, guys. Have a good night. All right, man. So that was all over the place, but thank you guys again. Yeah. Did you guys have a hard time finding the place, or was it pretty simple?
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys all living around Visalia, or?
Well, I'm from Porterville, so I'm like
You
a
live
good
up in
hour
Porterville?
and 20
Oh,
minutes
geez.
away, yeah.
Damn, dude.
And then I gotta get him and Lindsay, and then Visalia.
You don't train
then
at
from
the
over here.
CVCA over there?
They closed. Now it's Extreme Grappling, and Paul Strada runs it, and
Yeah.
Jim.